Hassanel, and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. Investment boosts drives beyond expectation Malaysian economic growth. And be mindful of what you say, Sultan tells Sanusi in accepting apology. Good morning. Economic incentives are aimed at bolstering Malaysia's attractiveness to international investors. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said in return the incentives have contributed to the increase in foreign investment, which has helped propel Malaysia's economy this year. Anwar, in delivering his keynote address at Invest Malaysia 2024 at Iskandar Puteri in Johor on Thursday, said the investment boost has driven Malaysia's economy, with growth beating expectations in the past 2 quarters and the local stock market becoming the best performing in the region.
We are fortunate because we've had a strong start this year. We outpaced expectations in GDP in the first 2 quarters, and the third quarter is looking promising. The ringgit is performing well, while the bursa is outperforming with their peers, as alluded to by Tan, surpassing.
Anwar added that Malaysia is generating enough energy surplus to power new major development projects, as well as grow its exports, as it looks to court investors to a special economic zone, SEZ, planned with neighbouring Singapore. He also stressed that the government would continue to pursue renewable energy and energy transition initiatives, as it aims to achieve net zero emissions by 2050, while still focusing on projects like the Johor-Singapore SEZ. The 2 countries plan to finalize a deal by the end of the year to develop the SEZ in Malaysia's southern Johor state, just north of Singapore, aimed at attracting investment and freeing up the movement of goods and people. On another matter, Anwar stressed that Malaysia and Singapore have been great partners, and this relationship should not be disrupted by any issues that arise between the 2 nations. He said any issues between the 2 nations are minor and can be resolved through dialogues. According to the Prime Minister, both countries have collaborated a great deal throughout history, despite having minor frictions, and can be greater partners in the future while benefiting from win-win situations.
All countries have problems with their neighbors. United States and Canada is a good example, and countries in Europe. But these are not issues that could create tensions or invite rancorous exchanges between one another.
Anwar added that Malaysia is also pleased with Singapore's collaboration with Johor and within the ASEAN framework. Later at another event, Anwar expressed optimism that the projected 57.3 billion ringgit contribution from Amazon Web Services, AWS, to Malaysia's economy could be achieved by 2032, 6 years earlier than the initial target of 2038. He said that AWS's rapid pace of development could accelerate the timeline.
The launch of AWS region with its 15-year investment plan underscores your unwavering long-term commitment to Malaysia. AWS 29.2 billion ringgit investment through AWS Malaysia region project alone is projected to contribute, as alluded to earlier, hopefully more than 57.3 billion ringgit to Malaysia's GDP between 24 and 38. And now, knowing the pace of development by AWS, I believe you can fasten that from 38 to probably 32.
Speaking at the AWS Malaysia Region Launch Appreciation Dinner on Thursday night, Anwar said AWS's investment in Malaysia is anticipated to generate over 3,500 jobs directly from new data centres. The Prime Minister also reiterated the government's commitment to establishing Malaysia as a global hub for generative artificial intelligence, AI, by bolstering the country's digital infrastructure. Sultan Idris Shah has accepted Datuk Seri Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor's apology and reminded the Kedah Menteri Besar to be more mindful when making public statements. The Sultan of Selangor said he had considered and accepted the apology in the name of Muslim spirit of brotherhood. In the letter shared on the Selangor Royal Office Facebook page, Sultan Sharafuddin also said that he does not want Muslims to always be in conflict with one another, and one must always forgive if the person seeking forgiveness is sincere in their request. The Sultan also advised Sanusi to avoid being overly emotional and not use inappropriate language when addressing the public, particularly in Selangor. This is because he does not want the people, especially those in Selangor, to be influenced and accustomed to hearing harsh words and baseless accusations, especially from leaders. On Wednesday, Sanusi issued a public apology to Sultan Sharafuddin over his remarks during the state election campaign in Gombak last year, which had insulted the royal institution and questioned the wisdom of the ruler. On July 18th last year, Sanusi was charged at the Selayang Sessions Court with 2 counts of uttering seditious remarks, where he belittled the appointment of Selangor Menteri Besar, Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari, by the Sultan of Selangor. Over 90% of Employees Provident Fund EPF members under the age of 30 are not projected to reach the basic savings target of 240,000 ringgit by retirement age. According to a recent report by Khazanah Research Institute, KRI, data from the years 2019 to 2022 highlights that only the top 10% of this age group possess more than 35,000 ringgit in their EPF accounts. The report noted that younger EPF members were less impacted by withdrawals during the COVID-19 pandemic, primarily due to fewer financial obligations, such as housing or vehicle loans, and a lower number of dependents. According to the Finance Ministry, around 35% of EPF members aged 54 and below had less than 10,000 ringgit in their savings as of January 2023. In an effort to address the issue, EPF has increased the contribution share for Account 1 from 70% to 75%, with the aim of helping 65% of members achieve basic savings by 2035. However, the KRI report emphasized the need to reassess the 250,000 ringgit savings target, noting that it has not been updated since 2019. KRI also highlighted that this figure assumes an individual would use 1,000 ringgit per month for 20 years, but with increasing life expectancy, the target may no longer be sufficient. EPF accounts currently represent 60% of the workforce, excluding those in the public and informal sectors. EPF has advised that members need at least 35,000 ringgit in savings by the age of 30 to be on track to reach the basic retirement savings target of 240,000 ringgit by age 55.
Learn how key policies are shaping Malaysia's future, from rising investments to wage reforms and digital banking. Get insights on Malaysia's fiscal plans and what's ahead in the global economy. Don't miss Money Matters special discussion with Malaysia's top financial leaders, Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan and Bank Negara Governor Datuk Seri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
The Plantation and Commodities Ministry is considering rehabilitating 420,000 hectares of abandoned rubber estates by converting them into commercial bamboo plantations, which offer higher commercial value in the global market. Its Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the bamboo industry has great potential to generate income for the national economy, as it can meet the world market's demand for sustainable timber products. According to Johari, the acreage for bamboo plantation currently stands at 4,000 hectares. Thus, more land is needed to accommodate the plant's commercialization.
Tanaman bambu ni, dia kalau nak nampak betul-betul komersial, dia kena ada large scale. Minimum dia mesti ada lebih kurang dalam 2,000 hektar. Dan dia punya potensial sangat besar, tetapi dia kena ada saiz yang besar. Jadi saya tengok kalau mana-mana kerajaan negeri yang ada kawasan-kawasan yang tak diusahakan, dan kalau nak usaha bambu ni adalah salah satu daripada tanaman yang kita boleh galakkan.
Johari said this in a speech during an inaugural ceremony of National Bamboo Seminar in conjunction with Malaysia's World Bamboo Day 2024 celebration. The bamboo industry was estimated to be valued at about $70.6 billion in 2023 and is expected to grow to about $100 billion by 2028. Malaysia has about 1.1 million hectares of rubber plantation, but 420,000 hectares are not cultivated because of the aging smallholders, while their children are university educated. The Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry, KPDN, has imposed compounds amounting to 4.4 million ringgit against 12 companies related to GISBH. Its Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali said the compounds were issued after an investigation by the company's Commission of Malaysia SSM found the firms did not submit their annual and financial statements as per requirement.
Memang dari segi kerangka perundangan tersebut kita dapati ada kesalahan-kesalahan tertentu dan sebenarnya kita telah pun mengeluarkan kompaun kepada GISB atas pelanggaran ketidakpatuhan kepada akta-akta yang terkait sama ada akta syarikat, akta PLT dan juga akta perniagaan tersebut.
He added that besides GISBH, there were 17 other companies using the GISB name in their SSM registration. A review of related data and websites, meanwhile, found that 201 businesses could be linked to GISB or Equan. On the issue of GISBH, Armizan said KPDN is responsible for helping the police in the GISBH investigation in terms of legislation and non-compliance with related acts by GISBH's business networks. In the meantime, a religious teacher has been sentenced to a total of 10 years in prison by the Klang Sessions Court on Thursday for 4 counts of ill-treating 3 boys by caning them and pressing the chest of one of the victims with his knees at 2 schools linked to GISBH. Judge Norida Adam handed down the sentence on 23-year-old Muhammad Badrul Rahim Hisam after the man pleaded guilty to all 4 charges. On the first and second counts, Muhammad Badrul Rahim, also the warden at the schools, was charged as the person having the care of 2 boys, aged 11 and 10, to have abused them by caning them. The accused was also charged with abusing another 10-year-old boy by pressing the child's chest with his knee. The offence was committed at 2 premises, including a religious primary school in Bandar Bukit Raja, between June, July and September this year. Muhammad Badrul Rahim was sentenced to 2 years in prison, each for the first and second charges, and 3 years imprisonment, each for the third and fourth charges, to be served consecutively, making a total of 10 years from the date of arrest, which was last September 11th. The court also ordered that the accused be placed on a good behaviour bond for 5 years, with a surety of 10,000 ringgit, and if he fails to comply with the bond, to be jailed for 6 months. On September 16th, the police began an investigation after a few videos went viral on social media, showing boys moaning in pain, believed to have been abused by the suspect. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, will be focusing on the aspects of internet data and service quality in its investigation into the One Bestari Net project to schools nationwide. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said the investigation will look at the provision of data to 8,000 schools across the country on whether it was supplied according to the specified contract specifications or otherwise.
Antaranya ialah berhubung dengan mutu perkhidmatan yang diberikan kepada sekolah-sekolah. Yang keduanya ialah ada di mana pembekalan data kepada sekolah sebenarnya tidak dibekalkan. Jadi kita perlu lihat perkara ini kerana bawah undang-undang rasuah sekiranya dituntut tetapi tidak dibekalkan merupakan secara prinsipnya adalah merupakan satu kesalahan.
He was speaking after the opening of the 3rd National Governance, Integrity and Anti-Corruption Research Conference in Bangi, Selangor. Commenting further, Azam said the investigation was expected to take some time as he had to carry out further investigations in all schools across the country. Earlier this month, the MACC launched an investigation into payment claims of the Education Ministry's One Bestari Net service tender, worth 4 billion ringgit, which was awarded to YTL Communications Sdn Bhd in 2011. The canteen of Sekolah Kebangsaan Cepur in Cemor, Perak was ordered to close for 14 days starting Thursday after the Kinta District Health Office found it to be at an unsatisfactory level. This after a total of 101 pupils were treated for food poisoning after consuming fried chicken and chocolate drinks at the canteen on Wednesday. State Health Department Director Dr. Faisal Idzwan Mustafa said that they were alerted to the incident on Wednesday at 8 a.m. after 5 pupils exhibited symptoms of food poisoning, including diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain and fever. The District Health Office's Infectious Disease Control Unit then conducted investigations at the school at 10:30 a.m. and 96 additional cases were identified, bringing the total number of cases to 101, involving 50 female and 51 male students. One student was admitted to the Raja Permaisuri Bainon Hospital for treatment, while a total of 62 other pupils received outpatient treatment at nearby clinics. All of the victims are reported to be in stable condition. The poisoning is suspected to be caused by Salmonella spp, based on the symptoms and incubation period of the cases. The students reported that the chocolate-flavoured drink sold at the canteen on Tuesday had an unpleasant smell and also complained that the fried chicken was not fully cooked, with some pieces still raw. Another Hezbollah commander killed in Zionist strikes. This and more from the Foreign Front when Nightline returns.
Diving deep into the business world
with expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Menarik DMHI.
Kamera badan anggota polis menuju kepolisan moden.
Tawaran jualan organ harami memang banyak risikonya tertinjau dalam konteks undang-undang.
Kabar hari tua, cabaran ke arah status negara tua. Sudahkah bersedia?
Mencari jodoh di era digital yang nampaknya semakin popular, namun kenalah ada batasannya.
Soal wang, ekonomi dan pekerja gig memacu ekonomi negara.
Segalanya DMHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Apabila datang, ia boleh mengambil alih kesemuanya tubuh, minda dan hidup anda. Stres bukan sekadar tekanan perasaan tetapi boleh mengancam kesihatan secara keseluruhan. Kenalilah tanda-tanda stres sejak awal dan bincang mengenainya secara terbuka. Dapatkan sokongan moral dan emosi daripada orang di sekeliling anda serta bantuan profesional di saluran yang betul. Saksikan Hello Doktor Ahad 5:30 petang di TV3.
The foreign news. The Zionist regime carried out multiple airstrikes in Beirut on Thursday, killing the head of one of Hezbollah's Air Force units, Mohammad Surur. The strike hit near part of the southern suburbs, where several of alleged Hezbollah facilities are located, but where many civilians also live and work. 2 Lebanese security sources confirmed the news of the strike. However, Hezbollah offered no immediate comment on the death. Meanwhile, according to the Lebanese government, Zionist strikes has killed at least 26 people across the country in the past 24 hours, with more than 620 killed since Monday. The relentless pressure on Hezbollah in Lebanon has now raised concerns of a wider war spreading across the region. Meanwhile, Israel has flatly rejected the proposals on Thursday for a ceasefire with Hezbollah, defying allies, including the United States, which had called for an immediate halt in fighting. The Israeli Prime Minister's office on Thursday released a statement on Netanyahu's Twitter page saying the news about a ceasefire was not true. The statement also casts as opposite from the truth, a report that Netanyahu has ordered the IDF to tone down strikes in Lebanon. saying that he has empowered the army to keep striking with full force, and adding that fighting in Gaza will continue until all the war goals are reached. Meanwhile, Israel's foreign minister also posted on social media that a truce was not going to happen until the country reached its total victory. Earlier, the US, France and other allies jointly called for an immediate 21-day ceasefire to allow for negotiations in the escalating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. The joint statement, negotiated on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York, said the recent fighting is intolerable and presents an unacceptable risk of a broader regional escalation. While the deal applies only to the Israel-Lebanon border, the US officials said they were looking to use a 3-week pause in fighting to restart stalled negotiations for a ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas. Sri Lanka's new president, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, on Thursday said that he plans to begin negotiations with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to take forward the country's $2.9 billion bailout program. Dissanayake aims to change the revenue goals set under the IMF program to reduce high-income taxes and free up funds. This is to invest in welfare for millions of the Sri Lankans who were hit the hardest by its financial crisis. He also added that negotiations with relevant creditors are underway to expedite the process and secure necessary debt relief. Earlier, the IMF said it would work with Dissanayake and discuss the timing of its third review of the current program with Sri Lanka as soon as practicable. Everson leads Atletico Mineiro to victory. Sports right after this short break.
Saya terhibur sangat-sangat.
Ayah masa dekat atas pokok tu, Abang Ropi masa dia tengah feeling K-pop dia yang yang tak boleh nak terbang tu lah. Dekat betul dengan hati.
Saya paling suka yang part yang diorang berlari tu.
Best lah cerita ni, like je.
Jarang dek tengok pontianak yang berat ni dek. Ada plot twist. Saya bagi 10 bintang.
8 lah, 8. 9 kot sebab Pak Ropi.
Yeah. 8.5.
Penyakit jantung boleh menyerang dalam diam.
Dalam masa saya jogging tu, heart rate saya walaupun saya start dengan warm up pun cepat saya punya naik. Tapi saya tak ada rasa penat, mengah semua tak ada.
Bagaimanakah cara untuk menjaga jantung agar kekal sihat?
Pertama, kita mulakan dengan jaga makanan kita. Kan? Memang makanan adalah satu punca utama, terutama negara kita.
Jantung, nadi kehidupan. Kami bawakan dalam Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Sports now, football, the Copa Libertadores. Davison's brace lifted Atletico Mineiro to a 2-0 win over Fluminense in the second leg of the quarter-final, knocking the defending champion out 2-1 on aggregate. After a goalless first half, Atletico Mineiro broke the deadlock 5 minutes into the second half, after substitute Davison headed home Gustavo Scarpa's cross from the left. Both sides pushed hard for the winner in the final minutes, and Atletico emerged victorious when De Vincent scored his second after he tapped home a brilliant Hulk's cross, sending the team through to the semi-finals. Gabriel Milito's side will now square off with Argentine giants River Plate. Still on football, the Saudi Kings Cup. A dramatic finale saw Al Tawun come through 3-2 against Alba to reach the last 16. The visitors opened the scoring after Flavio Medeiros found the net in the 21st minute, following a defensive error from Abha. Ahmed Abdul Jabbar drew level for the hosts in injury time, only for Joao Pedro to restore the visitors' lead when he struck from close range in stoppage time. Mohamed Al-Kuwaibi made it 3-1 for Al Tawun when he unleashed a thunderous shot into the bottom corner in the 98th minute. Abdul Jabbar netted his second in the dying minutes, but failed to stage a comeback for Abha as they bowed out of the tournament with a 2-3 defeat. Australian man gets 5 years jail for sexually assaulting teen. The details when we come back.
Awesome. Berat lah awak dia.
Kelakar gilers. Lucu gila. Korean accents punya scene tu semua lawak.
Scene dia naik motor dengan Pontianak. Masa makan terapung atas meja tu, kau 200 kg tapi kau boleh terapung. Itu kelakar.
Yang dia menari-nari tu, lucu sangat. 10.
11. 9.5. 200 per 10 saya bagi.
I bagi 200 per 10.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
On TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Menarik DMHI.
Kamera badan anggota polis menuju kepolisan moden.
Tawaran jualan organ harami memang banyak risikonya tertinjau dalam konteks undang-undang.
Kabar hari tua, cabaran ke arah status negara tua. Sudahkah bersedia?
Mencari jodoh di era digital yang nampaknya semakin popular, namun kenalah ada batasannya.
Soal wang, ekonomi dan pekerja gig memacu ekonomi negara.
Segalanya DMHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. An independent preacher pleaded not guilty in the Kangar Sessions Court on Thursday to a charge of receiving an unrecognized title and honor. 34-year-old Ahmad Hussam Muhammad Badaruddin made the plea when the charge was read to him before Judge Sharifah Norzalita Said Salim Idid. The accused, also known as Ustaz Hussam, claimed he had received the title and honor from the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri of Melaka. The offence was conducted at the office of Perlis Commercial Crime Investigation Department at 11:30 a.m. on May 4th last year. Upon conviction, he may face a maximum fine of 500,000 ringgit or imprisonment for up to 5 years or both. The court fixed bail at 25,000 ringgit with one surety and set October 28th as rementioned. In Sabah, an Australian man was sentenced to 5 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl in May last year. Judge Rosli Ahmad imposed the sentence on 75-year-old Jack Wong after finding that the defense failed to raise reasonable doubt against the prosecution's case. The court ordered the sentence to begin immediately. According to the charges, the accused, who was a Malaysian before obtaining Australian citizenship, is accused of physically sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl at a house in Taman Pikyard, Jalan Mawar, near here, between 7:20 a.m. and 8 a.m. on May 20th last year. For the offence, the charge is presented in accordance with the Sexual Offences Against Children Act, which provides for a prison sentence not exceeding 20 years and whipping. The court, however, granted the defence's application for a stay of execution while maintaining the existing bail conditions. This concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the 2024 World 25-meter pole climbing championship in Ulster, England. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and be well, Malaysia.